You'll have to admit, I'm pretty good at explaining deep songs. I don't like to brag, but it is something that I've practiced a lot. The real challenge, though, is not to think about the song, it is to feel the song and to let the rhythm take control. So we're gonna talk about the top 7 deepest songs of 2018 so far, and then we're gonna dance to them. Hello everybody, I'm Clifford Stemmy, the pop song professor. Welcome to my channel where we make English class awesome by explaining and sometimes roasting song lyrics and sometimes dancing to them every school day. If you watch this daily show, you will learn what your favorite songs mean, how to write songs, and a whole lot more. And today we are talking about the 7 deepest songs of 2018 so far. And I'll admit, this is not an exhaustive list. I am the pop song professor, so we're kind of taking songs that are both popular and deep and looking at those ones. So maybe a better way of saying it is the 7 deepest songs of 2018 so far that you and I have actually heard about. Yeah, I think that has a nice ring to it, but it's not very clickbaity, so we can't use it as the title. Oh, before we get started, guys, there is a playlist in the description that I made just for you, and it's got all 7 of these songs in it and the music videos, and you should watch them and support them and listen to them and be inspired by them. But without further ado, let's go. And before we do the top 7, let's talk honorable mentions. And a lot of you guys are gonna tear me to shreds for this, but Florence The Machine song Hunger is an honorable mention. There's another Florence The Machine song coming up, and I just didn't feel like Hunger was as deep or well crafted. I felt like it was a little bit more general, like the hunger for something bigger and better is something that we hear about a lot. So it's really, really good. It's really, really deep, but I didn't want to have 2 songs by the same artist, and also I just thought it wasn't as good as the other one. And now you're really gonna kill me. I was kidding about the last one. You're actually gonna kill me on this one. Levitate by 21 Pilots gets an honorable mention. Levitate by 21 Pilots was a deep song about the crafting of music and about the mental process, but there was a lot of stuff in it that's very contextual to the Trench album. So where the Trench album might get an award for the deepest album of 2018, we'll see. It's difficult to give that song, or any one of the songs so far, that order, because you have to like listen to all of them at the same time, and I'm assuming we'll have to listen to all of Trench at the same time. So Levitate did not get into the top 7, but it was an honorable mention because there are deep things being talked about there. It's just that a lot of them are going to be revealed later. And the 7th deepest song of 2018 so far is Why by NF. And we hear these lines: I push away the people that I love the most. Why? I don't want no one to know I'm vulnerable. Why? That makes me feel weak and so uncomfortable. Why? Stop asking me questions. I just want to feel alive. And this song talks about a lot of different things. Some deep, some not so deep, some that seem a little bit over dramatic, and some things like these lines that I think are the best, that are very sincere and very honest and open. And so I felt like he probably wrote this one quickly, but it feels like we are hearing from him. It feels like we're hearing NF talk, and a lot of the things he gets into, like these lines, are very deep, and so I got number 7. I don't want them to know I'm vulnerable. Why? Makes me feel weak and so uncomfortable. Number 6 is Love It If We Made It by the 1975. This song was really deep and was talking about a lot of the problems in society, particularly in the United States. Drugs or racism, and sometimes the big, deep, postmodern picture. Listen to this. Oh, F your feelings. Truth is only hearsay. Very postmodern. We're just left to decay. Modernity has failed us. Thus the reason for the fact that we're going into post-modernity, apparently. And I'd love it if we made it. So, you know, we're in post-modernity, we don't know what the truth is, and we really need to make it through, and so we're gonna try. For those of you who don't know what post-modernity is, basically, modernity was this time when we believed we could understand everything through science, and that everything was rational, and we could create systems and factories that could make the world a better place. And post-modernity is kind of like, well, we tried that, and then we got into 2 world wars with nuclear bombs, and it kind of sucked. So what do we do now? We can't trust anything. Truth is dead. It's just a phase. Don't worry, we'll get through it. But then we get into number 5, and this one surprised me more than anybody else. It surprised me, I guarantee you, more than it is about to surprise you, and that is Sober by Demi Lovato. Usually Demi Lovato does not say anything deep, but listen to these lines. I got no excuses for all of these goodbyes. Call me when it's over cause I'm dying inside. Wake me when the shakes are gone and the cold sweats disappear. Call me when it's over and myself has reappeared. And obviously she had, or has now, again, a drug problem and an alcohol problem. And so she wrote the song when she stopped being sober after several years years of being sober. And so this is like a truly personal, emotional song, all the more important because of the fact that she ended up in rehab just like a month or so after she released this song. It's honest, it's vulnerable, talking about the shakes and the sweats, and then some of the other lines where she talks about her parents get very specific. It's very unique for a pop song and definitely something we need to encourage. Not the going to rehab stuff, obviously not, but like the honesty and the vulnerability, and I really appreciate Demi Lovato for being that vulnerable with us.
Sometimes I just wanna cave and I don't wanna fight. I try and I try and I try and I try and I try, just hold.
When we get into number 4, and that is This Is America by Childish Gambino. Now, none of the lyrics are particularly deep, so this one's kind of in on the merit of the music video, which was incredibly deep and was super interesting. And the lyrics support it a little bit, but basically we have the lines, "This is America, don't catch you slipping now," which is probably just talking about African Americans. You know, don't make any mistakes or people are gonna blame you super hardcore and make you feel really terrible about it. But the music video is incredible, so controversial, so interesting, so artful, so tasteful, so well done, so visceral, and so challenging. If you haven't watched it, what are you even doing? Oh, no. I don't feel super comfortable dancing to this one. At number 3, we have 1985 by J. Cole, and this sounds like something that he just, just like a mixtape sort of track where he just sets a beat and he starts rapping. But this is really good stuff. Basically, it's about mumble rappers, and he had a little bit of a feud starting with some young 17-year-old mumble rappers, including Lil Pump, who they seem to have since made amends. But listen to these lines. All these guys poppin' now is young. Everybody say the music that they make is dumb. I remember I was 18, money, pussy, parties, I was on the same thing. You gotta give a boy a chance to grow some. And this song, this rap has 2 different parts. It has this part where he's saying like, let's cut them some slack, they're gonna make mistakes, sure. But then he switches to like full-on dad rapper mode and basically tells them like, you should be saving your money, you're riding trends, so don't be surprised when you're broke after the trends leave, so what are you doing to make sure that you'll be financially viable? I don't particularly like your music, he says, but I mean, I respect what he says. He likes seeing a black man get paid, and so he's supportive of them, even if he doesn't really like what they're creating. And if you didn't know, J. Cole is one of the best rappers alive right now. Like, he's this super chill, thoughtful guy who has really good things to say, and he's been rapping for a while now, and so he's got a lot more maturity than most people who are out there rapping. Definitely worth not even just listening to, but go read the lyrics. It's really interesting.
I heard one of them diss me, I'm surprised. I ain't tripping, listen good to my reply.
Then we get into number 2, and this is I Thought About Killing You by Kanye West. And listen to these lines. The most beautiful thoughts are always besides the darkest. Today I seriously thought about killing you. I contemplated premeditated murder, and I think about killing myself, and I love myself way more than I love you, so ... Super dark, super like almost creepy, and I appreciate that he's willing to talk about this stuff. With Kanye, it doesn't feel so much like he's being vulnerable as it feels like he's maybe being just a little bit more like audacious or crazy or like trying to shock us, but he's being himself, and that is who Kanye is. And these are just some really interesting thoughts, because I think we all have thoughts we're not proud of, and so the fact that he's willing to put it out there, while not maybe as much of a challenge for him as it would be for us to speak our minds in such a way, is interesting just to hear somebody else say. And I think it's always easier if you do have thoughts you're not proud of, to be able to see somebody else having them, or to be able to vocalize them so that they seem smaller. Because I think when things just stay inside your head bottled up, they get too big for your head and they just start to torture you. I don't know what he was going for, but really interesting to see him try this.
And I'm about to go down, get so bright it's no sun, get so loud I hear none, stream so...
And then finally, the number 1, deepest song of 2017. And let me just tell you guys, if you're wanting to write original lyrics that sound good, like these 7, 8, 9, including the honorable mentions people, definitely check out my course in the description, how to write original lyrics that sound good. There may or may not be a discount code down there just for you guys, depending on whether I remember or not. If I don't remember, comment it down below. Anyway, it's a cool course, and there's just like a page where you can go read about it, even if you aren't sure whether you want to buy it or not. But that being said, the number 1 deepest song of 2018 so far is, I think, Big God by Florence The Machine. This song, super interesting. Florence has this ability to take something mundane and small in everyday life and just dig into it and look at all the emotions and the feelings. She uses her voice, she uses her lyrics, and it's just really, really good. This line, she sings to herself, "You need a big God, big enough to hold your love. You need a big God, big enough to fill you up." And basically, some dude ghosted her and she was just wrecked over it. And so her friend came and told her, man, if this is what it takes to make you feel loved, like if you just, you know, something so petty, if you're just that empty that this is what it would take to satisfy you, then you're gonna need a big God for you to ever feel loved, for your life to ever be worth it. And I think we do tend to overreact over small things or to get ourselves wrapped up in things and instead of being able to look at the big picture. And Florence is now able to look at that big picture better, and it's really cool that she would share this song with us so that we can have that same perspective.
Need a big God.
And there you go, guys, the 7 deepest songs of 2018 so far. I hope that you enjoyed those, especially with Trench coming out soon and maybe a few other albums. We'll see. I can't think of anything off the top of the head. We'll see how that list shifts and changes and what gets added or taken away. And I think it's gonna be a great rest of the year so far because it's been a great year thus far to, what is it now, August? But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you all next time. Oh, and watch these videos now. I will talk to you next time. Bye.